Hello, I'm Sarah. I'm an aspiring author, and my imposter syndrome and my seasonal depression have teamed up to kick my ass. So, hi guys. It's good to see you again. See you metaphorically, but yeah, it's been a weird couple of months. January is always that time that I plan for to start a bunch of new things, to start new routines, be healthier, be more productive. And then every single January, I never follow through, no matter what. It's just the curse of the new year, you know. But in February, I usually tend to get back on my feet, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm in the middle of organizing work stuff, writing projects, so I thought I would just hop on and do a little writing chat, just ramble. I think I need to ramble a bit. And I don't know, I just had a lot on my mind the last couple of months, the last like 6 months, to be honest, since I started this big writing project. If you've been around my channel for a while, you've heard me talk about this project quite a lot, so you might get tired of me describing it, but just in case you're new, if you are, welcome. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'd love to keep you around. But yes, I started this YA contemporary fantasy novel called Project Psychic in March of 2025. It became a passion project. It was different from my previous projects, so I was having a lot of fun with it. And for the longest time, this felt like the one. This felt like this will be the one I can query, and that will hopefully get me an agent. This will hopefully be my debut novel. And obviously, having all of those thoughts in mind, it put a lot of pressure on this project. It just felt like this had to be the one. I had to make this novel perfect. The first couple of months as I was outlining, and then eventually as I was writing Act 1, that's always the most exciting part, just this fresh idea and then diving into it, having fun with the characters and their dynamics and all the crazy things they get up to. And then as the months go by, as you hit that dreaded that middle part, that's when I start to question everything. That's when things got difficult. I'm so thankful that I have my writer group. I would have gone crazy without them. Crazier, at least. And from that point, from the middle, that was actually when I started my YouTube channel, or when I revived it, because I've had this YouTube channel for a number of years, but it was dead for quite a while. But I brought it back up for writing content with the hopes that I could get out of that little slump I was in, and that I could zoom through and finally finish this novel. And as you've seen through those videos, you could see the ups and downs. And eventually, I did finish the novel. I finished it in November, around mid-November 2025. And I didn't feel great about it. It felt like a mess. This was my first time trying to write contemporary fantasy, where there are a lot of rules to not a magic system, but just the way my main character's powers work. And just working through all the logistics of that, it was a lot. I accepted that that was okay, It was a first draft. It was meant to be messy. I was fine to just put it away and take a break for December. And I did, and it felt good to step away, to relax, to think about other things, think about other projects. And I was planning to get back to the project in January. We know how January was. But still, I had planned to get back. And I guess stepping away for an entire month, it just let the anxiety fester. And I was just thinking too much. I'm an overthinker. What was I overthinking about exactly? Am I doing this right? Am I crafting a decent novel? Does this work at all? Is anyone going to understand this? Is anyone going to like this? Is anyone going to want to buy this? Will anyone love it the way I want them to? But the big looming question, the question that is always haunting me, will I ever be able to get published? That is my dream. I want to be a published author. I want my stories to reach people. I want people to read these stories and feel seen, feel heard. I just want my words and my characters to go out there and do something. You know what I mean? Words. I can't explain what I mean. How am I a writer? Anyway, I've had a lot of writing projects. I've had a few that felt like the one that would become my debut novel. And a lot of them failed. Well, all of them failed. One of them I even tried to query, and over time I came to recognize why they didn't work, why they weren't ready for an agent, why they weren't ready to publish. And so throughout all that, I just feel like I've come to understand the publishing industry a little more, and I've put a lot of that knowledge into working on Project Psychic. And I would like to say Project Psychic, I'm trying to have as much fun with it as possible. I am having fun with it. But I am also thinking of what I can do to make this publishable, to make this something an agent, an editor, a publishing house would want. I would say that having that way of thinking can damage your novel, can hurt the way you go about it. At least for the first draft, I think you just shouldn't really consider any of that. You should just let loose and write the dang novel. But of course, those thoughts are always going to be there. At least for me, I can't help it. So yeah, those 6-ish months were a struggle getting this first draft done. Still, it's like I was able to get a first draft done fairly quickly for me. I would like to get faster, definitely, in the future. Now going into revisions, as I'm getting ready for draft 2. Right now, in like the end of January and now February, I've been working on reverse outlines, just working on the prep. I jumped in by doing the Save the Cat beat sheet, which, can't go wrong with that. And then once that was done, once I had a good grasp of my story, of my themes, I started a chapter by chapter outline, which is something I've never done before. I used to think it was a waste of time. I thought, doing all that prep would be too much. I would get lost in it and I would never get to the actual writing. But I just thought it was needed, especially with this project, because first draft needed a lot of guidance. So I am working on that right now. I'm working on my chapter outline. I told myself and I told my writer group for accountability that I would have this chapter outline done by the end of February. And surprise, surprise, I'm just not feeling like I can meet my own deadline. And the thing is, I don't want to drag this out because I know how I've been in the past. It's taken me years to finish projects, and I just don't want that to happen with this. But at the same time, I don't want to rush myself. I want to give this the time that it needs. I do think this outlining process, this reverse outlining process, is important. It's worth taking the time to go over, make sure I have everything figured out so I feel more confident going into that second draft. So it's okay if it takes time. It's okay. This is something I constantly have to tell myself throughout the writing process is it's okay, you're fine, as long as you know what you're doing, as long as you're moving, you're making progress, you're fine. But again, is that nagging voice of you need to get published, you need to get published now, you need to hurry the f up. It is social media, it is seeing so many debut authors finally getting their books published. It's seasoned authors getting more books published, authors whipping out like 2 to 3 books a year. It is authortubers also getting literary agents, getting book deals. I know you can't compare yourself. I know everyone has their journey. It's just the publishing industry, it feels like it goes so fast, but at the same time it goes so slow, if you know what I mean. And I've just always felt like I have to finish this novel, I have to get an agent, I have to get a book deal, I have to hurry up and get published. Like, time is of the essence. I'm not getting any younger. I guess I've always like given myself deadlines of when to get published. Like when I was in college, I wanted to get published by 25. And then when 25 hit, I wanted to be published by 30. Now I'm 31, right? 31? Yeah, I think so. And now I'm like 35, maybe, but with the way things are going, it's like, I don't know if that's attainable. And then if not 35, then what, 40? And I need to stop doing that. I can't give myself a deadline like that. It just has me crashing out. When I'm spiraling like this, and I spiral often, I need to take the time to calm myself down and remind myself of why I'm doing this, why I write, why I'm writing this book. I loved this idea. I love this story. I love these characters. I believed in this story. I believe that others will also love and appreciate it. And yeah, I believe that it is publishable. So that is what I'm working towards. But I can't let that stress get to me. It's okay to have a little stress, but not to the point that it makes me break down. Working on this chapter outline, I feel like I have found the joy in my story again. I've just really enjoyed working through things. It's been satisfying as things start to click. And yeah, I do want to spend more time with it. So it's gonna bleed into March, and that's fine. I think I want to have deadlines, but I want them to be flexible, just so, I don't let things drag on. Because I don't want this to take years. I want to be more productive than I was in the past, but just without putting too much stress on myself, because I've gotten enough gray hair over the past few months. Yes, there is the pressure from social media, from other people's successes. There's the pressure from friends and family who are like, when are you going to get published? Are you not published yet? What have you been doing all this time? And I know they mean well, but they don't understand how competitive and how slow and agonizing the publishing process really is. And then there's the pressure from myself. And you know what? The pressure I give myself is the one thing I can control. I don't have to put this much pressure on myself. I can just enjoy what I'm doing, enjoy my story, just work on it, just let it become the story it's meant to be. And then once it reaches that point, then I can worry about publishing. I'll get there. Hopefully I will get there. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I was probably stumbling all over my words the entire time, but I'm really grateful for anyone willing to watch, willing to listen. It does help for me to just let all my feelings out, so I can come back to my projects with a clear head. So, thank you. I will keep you updated on Project Psychic. I will also get started on a side project, a little paranormal novella. I'm excited for that. I hope the best for your writing projects, and I wish you the best for the rest of February. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.